What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Filming a little later today than usual. I was flying off today, but going forward, the episodes will be on time or even a little bit earlier than usual now that I'm on East Coast time. That's good news there. Today's episode got some good, fun information. Got the market dip of yesterday. Is that going to last? What's my market prediction for the weekend? Got some more wild information on Three Arrows Capital. And also some extremely low acquisition prices for companies that have been struggling during the market downturn. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at BenCryptoShow. Let's begin. First, Twitter poll of the day. The crypto world has seen some spectacular blow-ups in its day, many of them in the last couple months. Which of these four famous crypto blow-ups is the worst in your opinion? Terra Luna, BitConnect, Mt. Gox, or a tie between Three Arrows Capital and Celsius? I couldn't list 5 things, they only allow you to list 4, so I just lumped those into one. Which one's the worst? Terra Luna has won 70% of the vote, 24 total votes. I'd say it's probably a tie between Mt. Gox and Terra Luna. Terra Luna was quicker, faster implosion. It destroyed the most capital, $60 billion market cap. Mt. Gox probably destroyed investor confidence a little more. That was the biggest exchange at the time. 70% of exchange balances were kept on Mt. Gox, so that put the crypto in a really long bear market. So I'd say those two are probably 1 and 2, but good turnout for that vote. Got a good new poll tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a new poll. It's about once a week or so. It's going to be called, were they or were they not hooking up? Now, on crypto Twitter, you might see a lot of people who have just been beefing for a long time. A lot of times the beefs just seem really personal in nature, like not even about crypto. Like there's something else going on. Maybe, was there some kind of hooking up going on? Maybe one person was cheating on the other. Just real kind of venomous hatred. So yeah, I got a good new dynamic duo for tomorrow's inauguration poll there. It's one guy, the other person gender unknown, pseudo-anonymous. They've been beefing for longer than I can remember. 2 huge personalities, huge crypto followings, and it's a really one-sided beef, which it's real personal in nature. Really kind of has all the seeds of possible hooking up, possible cheating going on. But you tell me tomorrow what you think. We're putting that poll up morning, USA time. Were they or were they not hooking up? Let me know what you think. Let's get into the market action for the day. So yeah, Bitcoin down about 6%, Ethereum down 7% now, was down 8-9%. So everyone's talking about the market's due for one more dip, nuke, whatever you want to talk about. Is this it? Is it going to be later? That's a tough call. A lot of people have said going into July 4th, holidays have caused some dips before. Christmas of last year, 2021, and then Thanksgiving of the same year, 10 months earlier, 2021, those caused significant market dips. That's when the market was going up. Right now, since the market's going down, I think the attention coming off it will be good, but we got to get to like July 4th here, like right here. So as we know, low volumes during the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, so tomorrow's key, Saturday's key. If we get to Sunday, July 3rd, and there's no additional dip, I think we're good. We're having no further shakeouts, and July 4th is on Monday, but tomorrow and Saturday are key. Other dates, not really any other major dates in July I could look for that might cause a market dip. There's no major conferences where, people get together and sort of rile each other up. There is another interest rate hike going to be announced on July 26th. So usually those come into effect. The predictions come out about 3 to 4 days ahead of time, sometimes 5. So I think Friday, July 22nd is the day we'll start to see the announcements of what people predict the interest rate hike will be, whether it's half a percentage point, 0.75. So that's the market usually moves on that news, not the actual day of the announcement. Then the market usually moves up after the announcement. It's over. It's done with. We don't need to worry about it for another 6 weeks. The market gets over it. But those July 22nd, especially because that's a Friday, we know low volumes on the weekend. The last 2 dumps have happened on weekends, so that's going to be a huge time period there. Friday, July 22nd, and then that weekend. On-chain metrics, so it's heavy inflows and outflows. Bitcoin 1 billion into exchanges, 1.1 billion out. So the net inflows is about at 0. But this is a little more negative than it looks because since a lot of money has been coming off exchanges lately, because people have just heard about BlockFi, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, Terra, they're getting a little nervous about keeping money on exchanges. So the fact that so much money has come off exchanges and then an equal amount of money is coming on exchanges I think this is bearish here because the numbers are high. And the fact is, there's a lot of new money coming out of exchanges. It's probably not going there to just sit on the exchange. It's probably going out there to think about, okay, if we're going to sell, let's at least have the money in the position ready to sell, so we don't need to wait a half an hour to get the funds in position. Who knows? Doesn't mean a nuke will happen this weekend, but this is something to watch for. What else? Open interest. The amount of open interest has gone down significantly. That means a lot of leverage contracts were liquidated. It went down, but then, as we all know, the total amount of leverage in the markets still remains high here. So for everyone being liquidated and eliminated from the leverage positions, like right here, apparently a bunch of new positions are being initiated. So again, a lot of leverage, a lot of risk. It could break either way, more likely to break on the downside, but we'll see. Tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday are key, especially tomorrow. And my gut instinct is telling me now, I think we'll probably stay at 19 and make it through the holiday weekend. So then late July, an interest rate hike is the date to look for, but we shall see. Tomorrow is key. Spot ETFs. SEC has rejected Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF application. This kind of strikes me a little more just like a bad timing sort of thing. It is a rejection. It's not like a delay. The last two applications for Grayscale were just delayed. This one was a full denial. Also, the two sides just really don't like each other. The SEC doesn't like Grayscale. Grayscale doesn't like the SEC. It could just be the SEC's open to a Bitcoin spot ETF at some point, just not with Grayscale. But I think they also might be sensitive. The market is in a bear market downturn right now, so they don't. The SEC probably. It's going to be sort of sensitive. They don't want to approve, a spot ETF when the market is just going to sort of absorb that news and not react positively. They want to approve it when the market's going up, and it'll have a more positive price effect. So I don't think this news is as negative as it seems. It probably just means that ARK investor Mike Novogratz's Bitcoin ETF application have a greater chance of being accepted. I just think these two have too much of a. Grayscale has now said they're going to sue, so I think there's just too much of history between these two particularly. I don't think Grayscale is going to be the one that is going to eventually win out, but I don't think the SEC is completely negative on the spot ETF idea. And yeah, actually just today, a new Bitcoin spot ETF at the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was launched. Now, this is a London company, Euronext, so they didn't apply for the London Stock Exchange to launch their BTS. I guess they thought they probably didn't have a chance of being accepted there, but Amsterdam, I believe, is the second biggest stock exchange in Europe, right behind London. So that's pretty big. So they applied there and got accepted. So now we have Canada, Australia, Amsterdam. It's a big European market. Only a matter of time before the spot Bitcoin ETF comes to the U.S. Let's see. So this article here, Celsius investors unlikely to bail out. So this kind of, as you remember, the Canadian spot BTF, there's a huge $500 million sell 2 months ago that caused the market, 2 weeks ago that caused the market downturn. I said it might have been a pension fund or a U.S. university endowment fund. Looks like it was probably a pension fund because this said, I guess, a big investor in Celsius was a Canadian pension fund to the tune of $750 million. They got wrecked in that. That happened before this entity pulled out of the Canadian spot BTF fund for around the same amount of money, $500 million. So it might have been the same company. It might have been this pension fund. They already got wrecked on Celsius the week before. So it's like, oh, shit, if Bitcoin goes down to zero, we're out of business completely. We're going to yank this money out. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was either them or another pension fund, probably in Canada, that was the culprit for that $500 million panic sell 2 Fridays ago that caused the second market downturn. So right here, a verified source confirmed that Suzu is urgently trying to sell his $35 million house in Singapore. He's requesting the funds to be transferred to a bank account in Dubai. He has no intention of paying his creditors. So this source is hit or miss sometimes. This sounds pretty accurate. What this means, here's the notice that Suzu, he's not doing like a big public sale the way it says sometimes do. It's a very under-the-radar thing. This is with his luxury retail broker, a very urgent sale. The client just wants to sell fast. We can get a good price on it. So this kind of reeks of, Suzu just wants, it's basically easier to seize somebody's house. Obviously, he lost a lot of money, so he'll have to pay the investors back at some point. An easy way to pay them back is for the authorities to seize his house. So he is selling the house and then probably just going to mix the proceeds up, I guess, in a bunch of cash and crypto assets, which is just harder for the authorities to seize. So I think this article, even though the source is hit or miss, some stuff is accurate, some stuff isn't. I think Fat Man is probably pretty accurate with this point here. I do think that I think the article is truthful, and I do think that probably is his intention, to just hide assets and not pay back the investors. But who knows? We'll see. Also, people are kind of, I guess, home prices in Singapore are just enormous, like way more expensive than the U.S. or most places in Europe. This is the $35 million USD house, so just kind of a sort of a suburban upper middle class home. Here's the sky view. It's this lot here that's like at the most a half acre, probably more like a quarter acre, just a regular size home. Nice backyard, nothing big. 35 million USD. I mean, God, I did not know Singapore was that expensive. It's crazy. It's like Monaco prices there. Whew. And yeah, I mean, the thumbnail article was, who should American greed be writing the next story? Three O's Capital certainly seems to have all the elements. The rent super yachts to try to woo investors as opposed to just spending all your time studying the markets. This article's here to running the Madoff-style Ponzi scheme, or just trying to, I guess the allegation is they were just always trying to bring in new money by throwing these big yacht parties as opposed to just focusing on the markets and having the returns speak to themselves. Highly risky leveraged trades that, was probably over the leveraged amount that they had set forth in their investment perspective, I guess, and some articles have indicated that. So, and then hiding assets. So yeah, it has all the elements of a wild new American greed episode, literally all the elements. I wouldn't be surprised if those producers are already looking into Three Arrows Capital. FTX on the verge of purchasing BlockFi, $25 million fire sale. So if you're not in crypto, you probably look at this, okay, $25 million, they got a good price to sell their company, not bad. If you're in crypto, that's incredibly low for a big company like BlockFi that's been around forever. Scroll down, indeed, they had a valuation only a year ago, $5 billion valuation. They raised funds at a $5 billion valuation 12 months ago, and now sold in a fire sale for only $25 million. So it's the Terra, it's more than just Terra. It's Terra, Celsius, BlockFi, and then this is also interesting because FTX bought BlockFi for $25 million, and then Sam Bankman-Fried was interested in buying Celsius a week ago. Then he passed on it after he apparently was even more disappointed with their balance sheet than he had expected. So if he bought BlockFi for only $25 million and then he pulled out of Celsius completely, I mean, how bad was it at Celsius? They must have literally just zero assets on their balance sheet whatsoever. The article also thought this was interesting. They said they had found FTX had found Celsius hard to deal with as clients on their exchange previously. Celsius, I guess, was just high maintenance, or the communication was off. It was very interesting. So, who knows? Let's move on. North Korean hackers behind $100 million Harmony report. So this is the hacking group that was responsible for the Ronin hack. That was confirmed because 3 of the wallet addresses that had previously been used by North Korean hackers were used to launder through Tornado Cash the Ronin hacks. That's about as verifiable proof as can possibly be, if you ask me. And then they weren't able to trace them through any specific wallets this time with the Harmony hack, but the method of hack was very similar. It was a cross-bridge attack again. I guess they used Tornado Cash again, which they had used in their previous hacks, and I guess they were only laundering during business hours in Asia and Korea. I guess like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That was the only time of day they were laundering. This time around was just they weren't laundering any money. I guess there were also some language barriers, some of the communications feds had obtained. I guess they didn't speak English, or they were speaking Korean or something like that. So just through sort of the kind of circumstantial evidence, which does seem pretty valid to me, this does seem like the North Korean hackers were indeed also behind Harmony. So yeah, especially if you're running a cross-chain bridge, watch out for this here. Elon Musk, he's been absent on Twitter for 9 days. Now, not a big deal. He usually goes in like 4 or 5 day absences. He just kind of gets in work mode. He's just in the zone. I can relate to that. Sometimes you just need a few days off from Twitter. 9 days, a little bit longer than usual for him. Last post, June 21, 7-Eleven gas prices. We'll see if he pops on Twitter again pretty soon. I'm sure he will. This does not appear to be related to Twitter acquisition. I think he's just in the zone with Tesla and SpaceX stuff. We shall see. It's it for today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for a new episode. It'll be at the usual time, even earlier going forward. Now that I'm on East Coast time, much better for YouTube times. And also, don't forget about about my new poll. First round tomorrow. Were they or were they not hooking up? It's a good one. Tune in tomorrow. Ben Crypto signing out. Later.